Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to continue focusing on rounding whole numbers, but we're not going to do the vertical number line. We're going to focus on the standard algorithm. Hopefully you enjoy this method, but tomorrow you can use whichever strategy works best for you. So we're going to learn our new strategy and then you can decide. So let's get started by just doing a little review. On your whiteboard, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to solve this equation. Round 5,348 to the nearest thousand. Go ahead, pause your video, and then check back with me to see how you did. All right, so remember yesterday we underlined the place we're rounding to. So in this case, we're rounding to the thousands. So the bottom number on our number line is going to be 5,000. Then our top number of our number line, we add 1. So 5,000 plus 1,000 is 6,000. And then of course we know our midpoint is halfway in between. So what's halfway from that 1,000? So half of 1,000 is 500. So 5,000 plus 500 is 5,500. Then we get to go ahead and place this where it belongs. So 5,348, this is 5,000, so it'd be 5,100, 200, 300. So it's somewhere down there. Now remember, we're not rounding to the midpoint. So that's not, that one's not an option. Our two options are either 6,000 or 5,000. So which one is our number closest to? And hopefully you said it's approximately 5,000, right? It's only 348 away from 5,000. Awesome job. So let me go ahead and start by teaching you the little riddle for the standard algorithm. We're going to use this riddle, so let's just listen to it first and then we'll say it together. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. Now, when I say 0 through 4, stay on the floor, it means if it's staying on the floor, it's not changing. If we're climbing the vine, that means we're getting bigger, okay? So if we stay on the floor, we're staying the same. If we're climbing, we're getting higher, so we're getting bigger, okay? I'll show you what I mean in a minute. What I want you to look at here are 0 to 4. I just taught you the riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. What numbers are 0 through 4? On your whiteboard, write those numbers. What numbers are between 0 to 4? Hold it up when you have an answer. And then underneath that, can you tell me which numbers are between 5 and 9? Hopefully, you put 0 to 4 has the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if we come across these numbers, that means we're staying the same. If we come across 5 to 9, then we're going to climb, or our number is going to round up. It's going to get bigger, okay? So 0 to 4, our number is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This little dash means through. And 5 through 9 are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Awesome. So let's get started. I'm going to model for you how to round. So use your place value chart. Round 348,504 to the nearest 10,000. So let me first start by I'm just going to write these numbers in my place value chart where they belong, nice and neat. Notice in the top right-hand corner, I wrote out my little riddle so I remember. Okay, now it says round to the nearest 10,000. I'm going to underline that so I don't forget that that's where I'm rounding to. And then down here, I'm going to underline my 10,000s place. Okay, so the riddle, 0 to 4, stay on the floor. Because we're rounding to the 10,000s place, we underlined it. Now we're going to look to our right. So let's look at the place value to the right. And this is where we say our riddle. If the number is 0 to 4, this that we underline is going to stay on the floor. If it's between 5 and 9, we're going to climb the vine. So I see that this number is an 8, which tells me we're going to climb the vine. This number here is going to climb. It's going to get bigger. The numbers before it, if there are any, in this case there's 1, will stay. We're not going to change that because we're not rounding that digit. We're just rounding this digit. And all the numbers after become zeros. So we have 350,000 is our new answer. Noticing that in that 10,000s place, that's the number that changed, or the last digit you'll see without zeros, because that's the place value we're rounding to. That's where we're trying to find our friendly number. Okay? So again, first, I just simply wrote my numbers out in my place value chart. I underlined the place value I'm working with. I look to my right, I say my riddle, and then I can round. Let's go ahead and try one together. Yours is 58,623 rounded to the nearest 10,000. So let's go ahead. We're going to first start by writing our numbers in. Go ahead, pause your video. Write your numbers in your place value chart. We're going to underline the place value we're dealing with. Notice if you didn't already, you wrote your little riddle so you don't forget. And then we look to the right and we say our riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. So what are we doing here? It's an 8, which means it's between 5 and 9. So we're going to climb. It's going to get bigger. Let's rewrite our answers. All of these become zeros. And then we add 50,000 plus 10,000. You should have, when we're rounding, 60,000. Okay, you could always check your work using our vertical number line like we learned yesterday to just double check that you did this correctly. Who doesn't like to double check and make sure they're right? Let's go ahead and read this. So it says, estimate the difference by rounding each number to the given place value. So this is our equation. Now this is one of the reasons why I love rounding, because to me, this is a lot of math right here. So if I just need to estimate or round or find close to, it's easier, right? So the difference when rounded to the nearest 10,000. So we're rounding to the nearest 10,000. What I'd like you to do, because you're going to help me with this one, is I want you to just simply in your place value chart, I'd like you to write out these two numbers. Write out these two numbers, and then we can go ahead and we can round each one. We'll do it together. So go ahead, pause your video and round for me. Awesome. So we're going to do one at a time. So the first one here, 712,350. We're rounding to the nearest 10,000. So I'm going to focus on that 10,000s place. I'm going to look to my right, and I'm going to say my riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. Okay, I have the number 2, which is between 0 to 4. So that means it's going to stay. It's not going to change. But I want to make sure you understand which number is staying the same. One of your clues that you can use is it's the one we underlined. Because we underlined it, these two right here are going to stay the same. All the ones after become zeros. So I'm going to rewrite it down here. Oops. That's rounded to the nearest 10,000. want you to go ahead, pause your video and try this one down here, 342,802. Pause your video and try it for me. Awesome. So what you should have done is you underlined the 10,000s place. You then looked to your right and you said your riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. Because it's a 2, these two numbers are going to stay the same. All the rest become zeros. So if you did this correctly, you should have had 340,000. Now we're not done. It said to round them to find the difference. Difference means subtract. We need to find the number in between them, right? So what we're going to do is, I did mine on a separate slide, so there's more room. If you need to erase your boards, that's fine. And we're going to go ahead and subtract. So 710,000 minus 340,000. This is so much easier for me to subtract than all of these digits. For example, 0 and 0, well, they're 0, so that was easy for me, right? I could put my 0, 0, 0, 0, and now I can go ahead and subtract. So 1 minus 4, I cannot do, so I need to borrow. This becomes a 600,000. I add 10, so this is 11 10,000s. 11 minus 4 is 7. 6 minus 3 is 3. So when I rounded to the nearest 10,000 to find the difference, I got a difference of 370,000. Awesome job, guys. I have one for you to try for this whole thing like we just did, using the same numbers, but you guys are going to round to the nearest 100,000. What I'd like you to do is pause your video, go ahead, write your place values or your numbers in your place value chart, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go over it when you're done. So don't forget, once you've rounded both numbers in the equation, you need to subtract them. Okay, so pause your video and good luck. We'll check back here in a minute. So let's go over this real quick. You rounded to the nearest 100,000. Nearest 100,000. I'm going to do the first number first. Sorry, my light. The 100,000. So I'm going to look to my right and I'm going to say my riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. I'm definitely staying on the floor. So this number is going to stay the same. All the rest become zeros because we're trying to make it into a friendly number. So 700,000. And then my next one is 342,802. Again, rounding to the nearest 100,000. We'll look to the right. We'll say our riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. Because it's between 0 and 4, this number is going to stay. All the other numbers behind it become zeros, which gives us 300,000. So I hope you notice that this one is not as exact as ours. When we did the other one, it was definitely closer. But for me, 700,000 minus 300,000, super easy to subtract. Way easier than all of this up here. Let's go ahead and subtract and check with me that you did it correctly. When you subtracted, you should have got 400,000. Now, again, when we're rounding, we know it's not the exact answer. It's going to be approximately, about, around. It's just a way to kind of double check our work, see if we're close or if we did something way off, okay? All right, there's two things left for you to do. The first one is I want you to just simply solve this on your whiteboard. If you're someone that's virtual, if you could just take a picture of your work and email it to me so I can see how you did. I'm not grading it, I just want to see how we're doing. And once you finish this in your classroom, you can hold it up and show your teacher that you rounded to the nearest 10,000. Now remember, we want to see your work. I want to see how you're doing. And then last, you have a rounding music video to listen to on Flocabulary. It's also shown in Schoology if you want to, it's called the rounding song. If you want to listen to it there, go ahead, okay? All right, guys. Thanks for watching how to round today using that standard algorithm. I'll leave this up to remind you if you want to take a screenshot of it or something to remember this little riddle to help you round. All right, guys, good luck.